we're asked to show the x squared plus y squared equals some constant value, and what happens as we change the value of the constant. So if we take a look at the circle here, as I change the value of the constant, that constant really is a radius squared. So as I make the constant equal to 4, we can see that the radius is going to be 2 in each direction. And as we go to 0, so if we go to 1, we end up with a radius of 1. And as we go to 0, we end up with a radius of 0. So no circle appears. And then as we go into the negative, nothing shows up because x squared plus y squared equaling a negative number is not possible with real numbers. So if we take a look at the hyperbola looks like this. So when the constant value is positive, so for example positive 4, we can say that this is a trans x hyperbola where the distance from the center to the vertices is going to be the square root of 4. And as we make that smaller, we make it equal to 1, we can see that the distance from the center to the vertices is going to be 1 along the x-axis. And as we go to 0, we end up with these two diagonal lines. And basically we end up with x squared equals y squared, and the solution to that would be y equals positive x and y equals negative x, which then shows up as these diagonal lines with a slope of 1. Now, as I keep going, I can go to the negative. So notice that there's a pattern here that goes toward the vertices come towards each other, the slopes become closer to 1, and now the vertices start moving away from each other, but along the y. So when the constant value is equal to negative 1, the trans becomes trans y, and the distance from the vertices is the square root of that number 1. And as we go to the constant equaling 4, we can see that it becomes a trans y, it stays a trans y, and we end up with the distance to the vertices is equal to 2. So as we go from negative to 0, we get these diagonal lines, and then transitions to a trans x, so trans x to trans y.